we would like to take a moment to pay tribute to a very special woman that's here this afternoon. It's a mom who has given and shared and loved, and it's just been such an example to so many different people that she has touched in her life. And she has touched my life in so many different ways. And Gloria Jordan, I just want you to know today that today's your special day, and we just want to honor you. And we have a few ladies that would like to share a little bit of a few lines for you, okay?
Many, many years ago, I don't even want to count how many, when I was in high school and a group of us had a club, and it was the East LA Heartbreakers. We were looking for a sponsor, and that sponsor turned out to be Gloria Jordan. We had the overnight sleepovers at her house, and she was just part of our group as we were growing up. Slowly we all went our own ways, and 20-some years later we decided to have a reunion of the Heartbreakers. And I was just as anxious as could be, because I wanted to know all the latest gossip. I want to know who got married, who got divorced, who had children, and everything that was going on. Well, we got together, and Gloria Jordan did not stop talking. I was ready to strangle her. She was talking about Jesus Christ. She was talking about my friend's house. She was talking about all the ministries that were going on there. And I just wanted her to go, shut up. Then some of the girls had said that they had gone to Israel and they had been baptized in the River Jordan. And they continued talking about the Lord. I went home knowing nothing about divorces, nothing about who had children or anything that went on. As life would have it, and the Lord is preparing us to do different things, I didn't know that the Lord was using Gloria. Because not long after that, I had problems in my relationship, in my home, and my husband and I got divorced. And where did he go? He went to, because of course I went home and I told him all about Gloria that wouldn't shut up. And it was my friend's house where he went to get help. And it was at my friend's house where he stopped drinking and he got a ministry. And that's 21 years ago that we've been serving the Lord at my friend's house, and we dedicated our lives to the Lord. And it all started in high school when Gloria was a sponsor of the East LA Heartbreakers. And I just appreciate the Lord using you so much in my life. Thank you.
When I was called in a church in Gloria, I stopped and thought about her. And the words that came to me were support, willing and giving spirit, faithful, and I don't know, Mary Lou, I'm saying quiet and dependable. Gloria was always a person that was in the background. You hardly even knew she was there. You might even say that she was kind of hidden. Her service to the women's ministry was done in a quiet manner. One of the things that she would do was to go to businesses and ask for donations so that we could give several mentors to the women who came to the banquets such as this. You saw that demonstrated here. I don't know, that wasn't you, Gloria, was it? But you gave an example. Someone couldn't afford to buy a ticket, Gloria always bought it. Her witness to her non-church going friends was my ticket so they could come and attend the gathering and hear the gospel. Her willing and giving spirit was always present. Gloria never said a whole lot, but her support was always clear. Her willing and giving spirit was always at work. Gloria, I'll say it again, Gloria never said a whole lot, but her support was always there, and it sure was. No fanfare there for Gloria. She didn't want anybody to know what she was doing or what she was giving. Money, food, whatever the need was, if she knew about it, she was a contributor. She was ready to contribute. In all of her serving, there was a warmth about Gloria that you sensed. Her smile was there. One felt comfortable serving with her. Today, we honor you, Gloria, and love you so. For your service to the body of Christ was done in secret. It was no secret to your heavenly Father. The woman's ministry that I served under and I was greatly blessed by your faithfulness and your support. God richly bless you for that. And this is a love text that you should be honored today because many, many years you did this service. But I see this as a love task from God, for I know, and you and I stand to face another phase of our life. For yes, but God tells me that He thinks you and He will strengthen you as He was strengthened.
My mom surprised me. She's in a wheelchair today, which is kind of taking my breath away because I can do this, don't worry. My daughter's very happy because the real extreme sentimental feelings skipped a generation. She's so happy. She feels the same way, but it doesn't come out as much, and I think that's partly because of the union between my husband and myself. He keeps his emotions in, and so I guess it's balanced out, and that's what God does best. He figures out everything, he balances everything out. So I thank him for that. But as they called me, and I knew this would happen too, as they called and said they were going to honor my mom today, and I look around the room, and I see so many wonderful people, old friends from my friend's house, and new people. And most of you, from what I understand, a lot of you haven't seen my mom as much because she has been sick. And I'm going to give you a little bit of where she's been because I think it matters to all of us in our lives. I think each one of you sitting there has a story to tell about your family. And this is our story. And thank you for inviting us. Thank you for having this wonderful luncheon and honoring my mom. Our family, I know, I'm sorry, I'm trying. And I wrote this so that I wouldn't be so emotional. My mom and dad have been married for 50 years. This June, next month. 50. They were high school sweethearts. And as you heard a little bit, they were very active in their community. And this woman, at early 20s, I was 4 years old, my brother was a year old, 26 years old, had polio. And the doctors told her she would never walk again. Doctors said, you will never walk. She was in a hospital where we couldn't even go in to see her. We had to climb the fire escape and look in the window. And this is back in 59, 60, and we were devastated as a family. And this is where you know the strength of your family. I was raised by my grandmother, who was still young enough to be working. My great-grandmother, 80-some years old, was raising my brother, who was a year old, and myself, when she was stricken with polio. When they started giving the vaccines, they kind of shot the virus into her. She basically got polio, and she was in the hospital for a long time. And when they got one toe to move, they started rehabilitating the rest of her body, and luckily, because we all believed in God and she had such a strong faith, after a year of being on braces and the crutches, the old silver braces that you see your President Roosevelt in, those are the kind of braces my mom had. Problem is now, and this is why I'm so emotional, because she's finally giving in to all the muscles don't work like they should. And almost 70, she's having to use a wheelchair and a walker. And since October, she's been in the hospital about 5 times, which has put in a scare for us. And she almost didn't make it here today. And a week ago, last weekend, she was in the hospital. So kind of, we were on pins and needles as far as this luncheon was concerned. But I want to say that this woman, this mom, this wonderful person in my life, my Lucy, right? I grew up with Rick and Lucy Ricardo. My dad is like, they were Babaloo, the kind of, the conversations, the way the family ran in the house. 5 of us, there were 5 children, 4 brothers, and I was the older of 4. And it was really interesting. But her belief system, her strength, what she has endured is amazing. She's lost the brother that was a year old at the time she got polio, 20 years ago to a car accident. My friend's house and Pastor Jim have been such a tremendous strength to our family. If you look over here, some of you do know my youngest brother, Bobby Jordan. I know she doesn't know he was here, but this was something that we wanted to say we love you, Mom, with all our hearts. My friend's house has been so special. I tried to keep it light. Here's the light part of it. Vicki Carr could not make it. Vicki Carr, my mom, I don't know if some of you know the singer Vicki Carr. She sent you this. Basically, they were singing tellers. My mom worked at the bank downtown, Farmers and Merchants, years ago. She did not drive till she was 33 years old. 5 kids. She did not drive till she was 33 years old. We would get in the car. Dad would drive. The boys would stay in the car. Mom and I would go in, do grocery shopping, try and pack it into the trunk because the car inside was filled with people. And so that's what we did. And I kind of equate that to, some of you moms out there and grandmas, computer literacy. Okay? In their day, it was driving the car. In your day, you need to get on that computer. Okay? Don't be afraid of it. And I have to heed that same information. But Vicki Carr could not make it. I'm a very optimistic person because of that, because of my mom. She's made me that way. I thought if Vicki could be here, she would. So she sent her a beautiful picture of her early days away. Mom remembers Vicki Carr. And she said to Gloria, Happy Mother's Day. When she'd be in the audience to see one of Vicki Carr's performances years ago, she would see my mom and have her stand up and relate the banking days, where these 2 bank tellers would sing to their customers as they were waiting in line and everything. That's what they did. And so that's my little way of saying I wish I could have brought her here in person, but I couldn't. And this gift here is because she is my guardian angel. The angel in her, the strength, the faith, the optimism that she always has, and Pastor Jim knows this, things could be awful, And what's the worst? Losing your son. Things can be so terrible, but she endured, and she gave our family strength to endure the tough times, the trials and tribulations. So that's my angel that my mom is to me. I'm going to try and make this light because if I make it light, I won't cry so much. Most of you know this is a giant photo album. My mom takes pictures like you cannot believe. Guess who forgot their camera today? You never catch my mom with that. And the ladies that I know from my friend's house, she always has a camera. And she takes 2 and 3 and 4 rolls, and she gets double prints or triple prints and gives everybody a picture. And if some of you don't know that, but that's the way my mom is. And so for that, this gift represents the photo bug that she is. This last gift, there you go. This last gift here, my heavenly friend. My mom has learned the secret of survival. Pray softly and carry. No? And carry a big purse. Basically, if you are going anywhere with my mom, especially now because she can't carry the purse possibly, plan on doing your weight training. She carries her files. Anything and everything you need is always with her, always. I can relay a story to that. I'm a teacher, and I was at the high school, and I had to stay for a meeting. I know to plan ahead. I brought 2 pair of nylons for that meeting, one in case something happened, and then the other to have as a backup. Both of them ran. Okay, this is years ago when they were very sheer, and we wore nylons, pantyhose or whatever. And so she was somewhere else, but she called, or I called her. Oh, and I told her what happened. I go, but I don't have time to go out and get some. I planned ahead, brought an extra pair. Well, look in the bottom drawer, she tells me, in this other room. Look in the bottom drawer behind something, 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 and there might be some there. There are nylons there, in my size, standing, here I am, and if anybody knows my mom, you can ask for anything, a Halloween costume. What specific Halloween costume? You come to the house and you say, I want to be a genie, I want to be a clown, I want to be basic things, but you say, I want to be something that nobody ever thinks of. Guess who has that Halloween costume? She does. And those of you that know her will understand and believe these stories. I cannot tell you how wonderful my mom is. And then it brings me great pleasure to surprise her like this, along with her family. So, the people that are here, and she doesn't even know where 2 of them are because they've been hiding, so it's not to spoil the surprise. Rosie and Vicky, Gerardo family. Rosie's my, please stand up. Rosie was my brother Rudy's godmother. And we have my family, my sister-in-law, Gloria, her daughter, Jody, my niece, my daughter, Jenna, and Julie, and Francis Carabeo, and Angie Lopez, her good friend that really is, everybody's taking care of her. At my friend's house, to Pastor Jim. Thank you.
I'm never in the front. I hate being in the front of people, so I just thank you very much.
Queen Mary Jane, she's cleaning our house every day, and we love her so much. Thank you.
You're Queen too. And this is for you on behalf of Women's Ministries at my friend's house.